Hi, and a welcome to this podcast, which is running over a 3-day period, and it's all about how to conduct a job search in 90 days. And truly, you can do it in 90 days. You need some support of some professionals. You need to commit some time to it. But yeah, it can be done. In fact, I've just had a client who's gone from zero to an absolutely fabulous job in 7 weeks. And it's been a fabulous journey. So that's what I'd like to share with you and see if we can help get you on that same journey. Most of us have got 90 days. So let's focus. Okay, where to begin? I mean, you sort of find that most job searches are hampered by unclear goals, lack of preparation, procrastination. All of us can do that, can't we? And do you recognise yourself in any of those statements? I'm often amazed that I work with senior execs who run big teams, major projects, big budgets, and yet when it comes to making a career move, it's really haphazard. They perhaps have a CV that they update from a previous time they were looking for a new role. So just pop a few edits on it, add it to a website, go on Indeed, see something that looks quite interesting, and whiz off a few applications on the job sites just to see if they get a response. And in all honesty, it leads to a circle of no focus and lots of disappointment, and often frustration with the recruiters. But in actual fact, it's because you haven't set up your stall in a really good and positive way. You haven't treated yourself as a project, just like you would any project at work. And that, for me, is the way that you manage a really good job search. So I'm Denise Matthews. I've been in the world of recruitment since 1999, and I've worked for some major agencies. I've been an in-house recruiter, so I've worked on both sides of the coin. I've built some big teams. And I've seen recruitment and job opportunities go through the most incredible curves of recession and growth. And I myself had an absolutely fabulous career, especially with the brand of Next, where I ran big teams and led some big recruitment projects as part of that. So lots of experience in that field, and I love to share it. So this is what I hope to do on this webinar. And the critical thing that I'm focusing on in this particular session is the importance of having a career plan and how to create it. The need for you to adopt a career awareness strategy and conduct a career review of yourself. This, by looking at all those factors and considering all those factors, that spurs you on to differentiate and market yourself confidently, because you then know what you want and you know why and how you can deliver it, because you've worked it all out. You haven't just gone at it haphazardly. So the goal is for you to market your skills and your experience as a unique and innovative solution provider. Someone who, as part of a team, will maximize the opportunity and minimize the risk and make yourself an asset that organizations want to invest in. Even with, CV gaps, job changes, redundancies, lots of moves, maybe at points in your career when you've been unsettled or the market hasn't been stable, so it's been challenging to stay in a role. You can still convince decision makers of your ability, capability and value if you do this work in advance, because then you create a really, really strong marketing tool. So my advice is that you can then use that information to target the companies and the decision makers, and that's the important part. And that's not always by going for adverts on job sites. There are many, many other ways to find roles out there. And that's the way you get the facts together to find that role and convince the decision maker that you are someone that's going to smash the targets and aspirations for that role. So it keeps you focused. And also, it's good sometimes to sit and look at ourselves and think what we're good at. Because it increases your confidence in your own talent, and that can help to make you just really confident when you're going for something that you've identified is your next move. So personally, I recommend that you conduct a career review every 3 to 6 months. It doesn't have to be a major project, but I mean, I support doing a monthly evaluation of whatever has happened in your world, and working with my clients. I always do that. I call it your black book of success. You can put it on a computer, you can put it in a black book, you can, have it in the back of an envelope. It doesn't actually matter, but it needs to be something that is always accessible. And when you're thinking about job moves, careers, personal reviews, personal development, performance, that type of thing, having had that time just for half an hour each month to write down what's happened, what you've learned, how you approach projects, what were you invited to be part of, did you speak externally, have you had a pay review, have you had a job change, has your team grown? Because those things all merge, you forget about them in the fullness of time. So just keeping a note as you go along is an incredibly valuable tool to have. So that's why I recommend keeping a monthly target, a monthly summary, but that every 3 to 6 months that you do a monthly, do a full review of where you are, and that will help you to decide when it's time for you to make that next move. So I'm asked often, when's the right time? I don't know, I'm a bit unsettled. I'm not really sure. Not been here long. No one knows who I am, I don't think. It's just not working out. And often have those conversations on my discovery calls. And, there are a few key points really when I suggest that you think about doing a full career review and starting to really consider the future. So one is when things are going really well. You want to build on that success. Don't just sit back on your laurels and enjoy it. Just go to your book, whatever it is you're keeping your record in, and think about what's going well, why it's going well, and what's the next logical thing, and how far away do you think that is? What does it look like? Where will it be? Is it in the same organization? Is it somewhere different? Is it something that, like a non-exec director? Is it something else that you could add to your portfolio? So you don't just do a career review when it's not looking good. You definitely do it when things are going well. You need to build on that success. If you're applying for an internal promotion, or if you're thinking about going for a new role externally, you need to do a career review. You need to understand you and what you bring to the table, because that's going to be invaluable as you go through the interview process. The other time, of course, is when you feel that your current job is just no longer stimulating. There's nothing left to learn. And, it's fine, but you're just going in every day and you're keeping the seat warm and you're doing a good job and everyone's happy with you, but you're not feeling the rewards and that you want, or maybe the recognition. So that's a really good time to start to look at things. Sometimes you're just no longer happy where you are. Situations change, locations change, managers change, companies get bought, you're not happy, time to move. But then the other one is that suddenly your phone rings and a headhunter or a network connection says, would you be interested if? Are you ready for that? And that's why doing it every 3 to 6 months is really, really valuable. So when those unexpected opportunities come along, you are ready, because you know yourself, you've thought about all the important things. So definitely, be ready for it, whatever the circumstances. So make it a gift to yourself, just a couple of hours every 3 to 6 months, nice cup of coffee, nice glass of white wine, whatever it is, but sit down and work through these factors. And a career review has got some key points in it. So it's to identify in the first instance what's created that desire for change. Why are you feeling like this? Why are you unsettled? Get it down on paper. Writing things down makes them real. Why is it that you're feeling like that? And then the next part of your career review is to formulate your personal marketing message. All about you. We'll talk about that a lot more in this next couple of days, but all about you. What's your marketing message? What is it that any organization will want to hire about you? So you need to start to really think about yourself. A lot of us don't like to do that. We're a bit shy of thinking what we're good at. But yeah, really, you need to think about that. So you need to acknowledge what you've got to offer, both skills, intellectually, values, style, team build, your intellectual capital. What is it? What do you bring to the table? What does your organization value about you? What will the next organization value about you? Where do you need to be? So you need to know what sort of environment and culture suits you. A big part of getting the right role is about environment and culture. Identify your personal values, at least 5, and if you've got more than 5, work out what are the top 5, what are the ones that you know are really, really important for you. That should always form part of where you're going to be next. And also think about your non-negotiables: location, salary, size of team, uplifting role, long-term potential. I always view moves as being like a seesaw, that the seesaw is only completely flat when you are in a role that's giving you all the things that you want in terms of opportunity, size and accountability, reward, location, all those things, and the organization is getting from you exactly what it needs in terms of that job description. Then everything's completely flat and the seesaw stays really well balanced. The minute one of those values go out of alignment, new boss comes in and you're not really comfortable with the way he's leading the team, all of those things can affect how you feel about the role. So you need the seesaw flat, and you need to be finding a role also where the seesaw is flat. And those of you that have known me for a long time and I've placed over the years know that that is what I always look at. It's not the right role if the seesaw's tipping, because you won't be there for very long. So aspects for you to consider: the location. Will you move? Where will you commute to? Do you want a hybrid role? Do you want to work from home a couple of days a week? Do you want to work from home 5 days a week? How do you want to work? Do you want to work on Microsoft Teams every day? Does that suit you? Or do you want time with your team? Think about those things. It sounds great, doesn't it? 5 days a week working from home. But for a lot of people, I'm finding that actually is not the dream mix at all. They need the contact, and they need to get and work with their teams and support them and help them face to face as well. So it's an interesting time for the hybrid working and for the working from home factions. So think about it. What do you want? The accountabilities of your next role. When you're looking at opportunities, are the accountabilities as they are? Are they up for discussion? Are the things that you can say, I'd really like to add that in. I'm really looking for this. All the things that you want in that next role. We're looking for a 70% match of all the things that you want. And if it's not 70% match, it's probably not the right role for you. And in my journal that I've written, which is called "Would You Put a Stamp on It?" Because I always think if you wouldn't put a stamp on your CV and send it with a fabulous cover letter using a stamp and a red post box, that it's actually not worth applying for the job. Because the fastest finger first style makes you apply for things that really have not got that 70% match. It's quite proven. And that's what causes a lot of the disappointment in recruitment. So would you put a stamp on it? Think about that. Package, reward, what's a fair pay for you? Know what you want and be prepared to negotiate and say that, and talk to organisations about what you're looking for. Pay is so often swept under the carpet. We don't want that. We want roles where you can talk about pay fairly, openly, honestly, and you know you're going to get rewarded for your skills. The role, does it allow you to use the strengths you've got? Are you going to get frustrated in it? Think about that. Make sure it's doing for you what you need it to do. Is it developing your strengths or just using them? Are you going to be stagnant or are you going to be moving forward? Are there going to be opportunities for you to go and work in other parts of the organisation in the longer term? All those things. Think about the environment. Put your health right high on the agenda as well. What's going to be the best? The office, is it hot desking or have you got an office? Have you got a team environment where you meet in great meeting rooms? And are they an organisation that cares about people? What is their support around things like mental health for their employees? It's worth asking the questions, because you want your team to have those values as well. So think about those things. What are the top 5 things that are non-negotiables for you? It helps you define what you want, because knowing those answers will then help you to design your strategy as you go forward. And I think it's great for you to take the attitude of thinking about yourself as a business. You are the owner of you. That's in my journal's her page about it. Think of yourself as an employee of you. And so you owe it to yourself to make you be the best performing business you can be. You are me limited. So make yourself the owner of your career in your business. Develop an attitude. I only want to work for companies that are in line with my personal values and potential. I only want to work for companies willing to pay me what I'm worth. Those sort of statements, get those into your mind so that you know that you know what you want and you're checking it out. It's not manifesting, it's a fact. Having the positive attitude is really contagious. So develop one. Having attitude, it will shine through. If you're positive and you know what you want, it will shine through in interactions with others, and help you get over the line to be the number one candidate. And we often say it's not the best candidate that gets the job, it's the best candidate at interview. And having that positive attitude, knowing who you are, knowing what you deliver, will make you the best candidate at interview often. So believe in yourself, be confident in your personal value and the results you bring. The rest is just about the execution. So there's a workbook in the Facebook group, which a lot of you haven't actually joined, but there is a workbook in the Facebook group. So go ahead, join that, and start to think about putting your career plan for the next 90 days together. So there's 3 elements that you're going to be thinking about: location, sector, and the roles. So location, you're going to think about how mobile are you? Are you mobile at all? Will you go internationally? Will you do that? Would you move yourself or move your family? Would you work somewhere else while your family stay where they are? There are so many things that go in the mix around location, but it's really important to know that before you go out into the market, because then it helps you to target your search. And also to think about what markets are growing, what regions are growing. Are parts of the world more advanced for your area of specialism than others? Would you go there? Think about that. Sectors, I like to target really one sector. I think it's much cleaner and much easier to manage. But you can think about, if you've got a skill like project management, Scrum, all that sort of thing that can go into many sectors, then go and explore them and decide where you're going to put your focus. As I say, 1 is great, 2 to 3 is okay. More than that, it's too much, you'll just get confused. So think about where you can fit, and then can you name your target job? Do you know what it looks like? And do you know what it means in different organizations? Because we all know that the same title means lots of different things in lots of different organizations. So get to name your role and make sure that you can articulate that. So you don't say, I'm looking for a management role in HR. You say, I'm looking for a senior leadership role in HR with diversity and inclusion focus. So you've actually drilled down to what you really are looking for. It's not a generalist statement. It is a really clear statement. So investigate where the opportunities are and then get your plan to match how you're going to find and uncover those opportunities and get out there and sell yourself. And remember, it's data that gets you the job. It isn't fluffy answers, fluffy gut feelings, or anything like that. It's data. Know what you're good at, know why you're good at it, and be able to articulate it. All of those things really, really important. So go to it, use the workbook, your big notebook, a mind map, huge piece of paper, whatever, and think about all the things that I've covered today in terms of, the career plan. What does it look like for you? Where's the location? What's the sector? What's the role? And why are you the right candidate for it? And let me know how you get on. And I will see you again tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.